right.
Slow with the fade. No, actually, it was actually a fast fade. What's wrong with me? Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. It has been
love that
a
slow
rough
fade.
week. I say that every time, but I'm pretty sure it's not a slow fade. I'm pretty sure it's a rough
And then he
fade.
hits me with the fast fade.
Right? It's like slow fade. It's gone. Done. Finished. Over.
Nope, it's
Yeah.
there.
So, we tried to be creative and try a few different stream outlets. And no thank you.
Yeah,
I'll stick with this.
Twitch was not pleasant.
Yeah, I'll stick with this.
Yep.
And I don't even really like streaming on YouTube. I tried to play with that a little bit, and I'm good. So we're going to stick with streaming here on the good old Facebookies, all you Facebook peoples out there. We're going to stay on this stuff. And then we're going to upload it to YouTube afterwards and try to do some post stuff. So if you enjoy joining us live, awesome. And if you don't like it live and you want to hear it polished up a little bit, go for that. We're also going to be working on some music here soon. We're going to start trying to create some royalty-free stuff that we want to get out there. Something we've really come to find out later in life is that we're really into jamming, but not so much into the whole real band thing anymore.
Right.
So we want to be able to write some more creatively free music. Now, with that being said, I'm not saying we don't want to jam with people. What I'm trying to say is if you're like, hey man, we're looking for a guitar player, I'm not interested. If you want to create something and write some music and put it out there and things like, I'm into that, but I'm not really into being in your group or anything like that. Not trying to poop on anything or anything. But so I just wanted to get some of that crap out of the way because we've been talking about this a lot, and I'm trying to stir up a little bit of a buzz here. So I haven't released new music since 2013. So yeah, this will be huge for me. It's been a long, well, maybe 2015. I think maybe 2015 would be on the wayside, kick the bucket or whatever.
It's about the same time as when we kicked the bucket.
Right. So I haven't actually had. So I haven't written any music in a long. I've wrote music, but I've not put anything out there in a long time. So this is kind of exciting. I'm pretty stoked to show everybody what we've been. Just like log jamming. What's up, Charles? But no, I'm really excited to do some stuff that we've been talking about doing now for a while, and we just don't want to limit it to a genre because I know a lot of my friends they kind of expect heavy stuff from me. Don't get me wrong, that's still coming too. We're going to write some heavy music, but I also want to write some, kind of laid back hip hop influence beats and I don't know. I kind of want to do some synth wave music and stuff like that. I really want to do some really melodic and clean shimmery guitars and stuff like that.
Our options are open.
It's true. And thank you, Charles. You were You were absolutely our biggest Beyond the Wayside supporter, 100%.
Much like that log jam is not open, we are open.
Oh man. So, Juice, how you been, man?
Yeah.
Well, first off, I skipped an entire segment. Band of the day. It's your turn.
It is my turn.
Yeah.
Band of the day. Before when we've done Band of the Day, I've always used people who are our favorites, but I'm kind of jumping on to the way you do it. A Band of the Day of what have I been jamming most recently, and today has been on Spotify. There is a classic hardcore playlist that popped up, and I highly recommend it for anybody who likes hardcore.
I do love hardcore. Spotify?
It had so much great stuff. And the one that I found myself listening to the most was Madball. I forgot how much I liked Madball, so Band of the Day is going to be Madball.
That's crazy. I just never pictured you as I know you love hardcore, but I just didn't see you as a Madball fan. Nothing against Madball. I'm not taking a stab at Madball or anything like that.
There was so much great stuff.
I'm live, babe.
Do you have a kitten moment?
Yeah, I'm having a kitten moment. You want to put the kitten on the internet?
Oh, look at the kitten.
Look, world, pretty
Everybody
little baby.
Look at the kitten.
Yeah, my niece has got a new kitten. She's
If that's not going to give us views, I don't know what.
Right. Well, they rescued a 4-week-old little kitten, so I'm proud of them.
Exploiting kitten for free views. I love it.
Right. Well, I'm proud of them. They've took on my whole I love animals too much kind of nature. So I'm
true.
I'm pretty proud of them right now. Got another little comment here. Just Charles, some new Jabez stuff. That's actually kind of what one of the ideas I had was mixing a little bit of like some jazz loops into some sweet beats. Because my man Juice here is multifaceted on instruments and loves a ton of genres of music and pulls these out his ass all the time. So yeah, you will probably hear some kind of like new jazzy kind of shit from us. We've got all kind of stuff we're ready to play with.
I feel like we should address it. Dags and I, because that was the hat that he was wearing today, and I thought it was a very good dad hat.
It is a dad hat from hell.
He so eloquently pointed out that it was really like a fishing hat, and I was like, you know what? I wear my bucket hat when I go fishing all the time. So I'm not a supporter of Frontier Communications, but I am a supporter of free hat. So
free hat McCoy.
That's why my bucket is on, courtesy of my dad. So this is my fishing hat. So we're just rocking our fishing hats, even though Dags doesn't fish. He hates it.
No, I don't. No, well, I mean, yeah, I do hate it. I'm probably gonna get a lot of shit from that. For somebody that loves being from West Virginia, like I am not a very outdoorsy person. I like going outside and being outside, and one of my favorite things in the world is swimming. No, I don't do the outsides a whole bunch. I don't do the outdoors, dear.
You're not outdoorsy.
It's not really my thing.
Fishing.
It's not really my thing.
Well, there's other stuff to do outdoors, but I just love fishing the most.
My favorite thing to do outdoors is probably sit on a porch and play guitar.
Yeah, we've done that plenty.
I'm a front porch picker from hell. Like I've said from hell like a million times now. But yeah, dude,
we've done that plenty.
That's my favorite thing to do outside is front porch picking.
Dags, what's the first thing that you before we started? We were talking about what do we want to start off with and what do we want to say.
Okay.
I've got an idea for where we want to go, but Dags told me specifically he's got something he wants to tell me, and he saved it until we're on the episode to get my organic reaction.
Okay, so this is so I do the whole Facebook groups thing. I'm totally into it. If you're not into Facebook groups, Facebook, listen to me, sponsor me. The groups are awesome. You can tailor your basically what you want to see in your news feeds with other people that have like minds and stuff as you. It's amazing. Join groups. There's ones that you have to apply for where you actually have to like take a quiz before you can get in. Those are the best because those people moderate the hell out of it. So it's a really great way to like get away from all the negative crap you see online in a fun little way. Anyway, that aside, sponsor me Facebook. That aside, it's I see a bunch of stuff pop up in there and it's really funny. But there's this one question that popped up today that man, like I laughed at myself at how dumb I was, but like I had completely forgot about it until I saw this question. Another reason why I like these these groups because that's what the internet's supposed to be. You're supposed to pop for stuff like that, you know. So anyway, the question was it was a pro wrestling group, but I'm going to take it away from that because we talk about that all the time, and I want it to be a little bit more inclusive to everybody. So anybody listening, feel free to tweet us.
Okay.
Instagram, whatever, your responses to it as well.
Yeah.
Have you ever, seen somebody that, like for example, you've confused a celebrity with somebody else, like you thought you knew who John Travolta was until somebody pointed out John Travolta, and you're like, oh shit, that's John Travolta? Well, who's this guy? And then you're just like, oh my god, and then part of you's a little embarrassed because you're like, how did I not see that? And then the other part of you's just like, no way. Like, you just want to deny, even though, deep down you know it's wrong. So that was and I was reading that thread, and it was very interesting. And like I said, it was tailored towards pro wrestling, so my answer is going to be pro wrestling. But, the gentleman had said he confused a couple wrestlers with gimmicks and stuff, which it was funny. But then I started thinking about Young Dumb Me. And Young Dumb Me literally thought Johnny B. Bad was Little Richard with a ring name. And that he actually, went on tour, played piano, and then got in the ring and whooped ass. I swear. Dude, I swear. For the longest time, I seriously thought Little Richard would kick ass on WCW, and I was like, that's so damn cool. And then when he left and he came out in WWF or WWF at the time as Mark Marrow, like my brother was like, yeah, it's the same guy. I was like, no, it's not. He was like, yeah, it is. I was like, Johnny B. Bad's black. That is not him. And he was like, no. He's like, no, that's just a really good tan. That's like he would spray tan and stuff. Like that was the point. He tried to look like Little Richard. And like,
you mean that's not Little Richard?
Dude, my little mind was so blown. I was like, that's not Piano Riff Woo. Are you kidding me? That's not Tutti Frutti Woo. Like that. Get out of here. Like, I would not accept it. I refused to accept it for the longest time. I was like, that is not Little Richard. Little Richard is the TV champion, and he kicks everybody's ass. Get over it.
That's right.
And I was wrong as hell.
I can see why you as a kid would think that in general, because obviously that's what they were going for. So
yeah, I mean, like, exactly. Like, I mean, I get, like, as I'm older now, I get that the idea was they were playing the gimmick on a celebrity. But like, what I'm saying is, I legit thought, and I'm not just saying this just trying to be funny. I'm not trying to, like, you know, be insensitive or anything. My little brain seriously thought that Mark Marrow was Little Richard in WCW. I seriously thought it was just Little Richard with a ring name. I was like, that's cool as hell. I was like, he's an artist and he wrestles. That's dope. So like all these years, I thought Little Richard had like this like bomb ass physique underneath all those suits and stuff. Like, so like I don't know. I thought you might get a kick out of that because that's pretty dumb. Like it's pretty like.
No, I mean, don't feel bad. There's one from when I was a kid that was a wrestler that I had no business confusing them, and it was only at a certain point of their career, like they hit this one gimmick that they just coincided at the same time. But when I was a kid, and at the time of was it Naked Draws, whenever he was doing that thing where he's coming out and like duct tape all over his stuff.
yeah, I forgot about that.
I swore when I was a kid that Naked Draws and Val Venus were the same guy. When I was little, they had the same goatee.
They did.
Had the same long hair.
I can picture it now.
I swore up and down. I was like, man, Val Venus has really hit the dumps because now he's just running out there naked and he looks drunk as hell.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Obviously, later figured out that's not drunk Val Venus. That's a separate wrestler. But I've done that too with, which is funny. Like I said, it brings us into everything comes full circle. This whole episode, to the best of our ability, is going to just be about like movies in general, stuff that's we could easily talk about, stuff that we can get people who are in the chat to participate with. That's easy, and Dags's topic flows right into actors wise. There's only one off the top of my head that I can immediately say that I confused, and it was their films. It wasn't them as individuals. I just got them confused with who was in what, and it was Val Kilmer and Patrick Swayze. And I don't know why, but I always got the two of them confused when I was a kid. And then I'm thinking about like Tombstone with Patrick Swayze in it, and I'm thinking about Batman with Patrick Swayze in it. I'm thinking about stuff like Dirty Dancing with Val Kilmer.
Right. I would always screw up and call Patrick Swayze Patrick Stewart because like I wasn't a Star Trek fan either, which was really funny. And I'm still not. Like I've had a few people try to get me to watch it, and I'm just not into it. I like Star Wars, not Star Voyage.
Good.
Well, that's what they specifically told me to watch, and I just can't get into it, man. Like I've tried.
Oh, that's okay.
So you know, it's not my thing. But
right.
For some reason, anytime I would always like be referring to Patrick Swayze, I'd always be like, yeah, you know, Patrick Stewart, Swayze crazy, baby, come on, like. I don't know why I did that.
You mean
man.
That's not Captain Picard in Dirty Dancing?
Well, like I knew who they were, but I would always like screw the name up. Like I do that with celebrities a lot. Like if they have like the same initials, I'll screw it up. And if they had the same first name or last name, I really screw it up. Like something awful.
So good segue. Like I said, with that topic rolling right into movies, we're just gonna hit just general topics on movies. What's our favorites? What's our least favorites? What's ones that are really popular that we just can't get into? What are ones that we absolutely love that people just can't get into?
I'm actually glad that you're doing this because Leo hit us with that. What's your favorite movie? I'm glad you're doing this because Leo like surprisingly hit us with what's your favorite movie question a couple weeks ago, and like I was just like, Friday 13th, no T2, no. I couldn't think, man.
We're gonna hit with let's start with easy right off the bat. Well, what on the surface is easy right off the bat. Favorite movie.
That is not easy for me, man. I feel like I have to be in a mood. Like I treat movies like albums. I got to be in a mood, and then there is a movie for that mood. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But for the sake of the show, I'm gonna pick something because I feel like a lot of people just stay indecisive, and at this show, we're all about coming to completion.
We're about committing. Yeah, we are about committing.
Commit or quit.
To commitment.
Yeah. So if I had to pick, I'm probably going to go with something that I've watched since I was young, and I still watch at least once a year. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to say the original John Carpenter's Halloween. I know I said T2, and I've said Friday the 13th. I've always liked Friday the 13th, but I didn't become more obsessed with Jason until I got older. I've always been into Michael Myers. I've always liked the what do you call him? The figure. Is that what they called him? Is that what his little nickname was? The shape. The shape. That's what it was. The shape.
The shape.
Yeah. So I've always thought that was cool. I always thought the mask was creepy, and then later, bring it back to Star Trek. Later on, found out it was William Shatner's face. They peeled the fucking the collar and stuff off, and just dyed the hair. I think, and did all this crazy shit, and. It's just a movie that, even to this day, like, it doesn't scare me or anything, but, like, when you watch it and you hear that piano, that dun-dun, dun-dun, just gives you chills, and you're just like, ooh. Like, it's just one of those movies, man. It is, man. It's just a great movie. It's, it started my obsession with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Okay.
Yeah, like, I love her now, which I'm a huge fan of. I think this is why I like horror movies so much, because I'm a huge fan of female leads. And I just like female leads in horror movies because, like, I know there's always that trope. I feel like I'm steamrolling this question on you, but there's always that trope of like, there's that trope of like, there's the slutty friend, there's the jockey friend, there's the blah this, there's the blah that, there's all these things, but then like the heroic one is the main lady, the hero of the film, if you will. She's always like got something cool about her. Like she's a little bit of everything, she's not really slutty, but she's interested in this one character or some shit like that. She's not really a jock, but she's not out of shape. She's it's a little bit of everything, and I feel like that you can relate to that character. Not saying that I could fight off fucking Michael Myers or anything like that. Like I don't think that would happen at all. He just chokeslammed my ass straight to hell, just like Kane, man. You know what I'm saying? Like.
My money's not on Dags.
Right, it shouldn't be. But that'd be a hell of a way to go out. Did you hear what happened to Dags?
It would be.
No, what happened, man? Car wreck? No, man, he fought Michael Myers and woo!
He got choked.
The third floor, man, just straight to the... My God, JR came out of nowhere and was just upset. Just, my God!
By God! That tore him in half.
But I just feel like you can kind of relate to that character more, and I'm not even trying to, jump on the whole bandwagon of like women empowerment or anything. I've been on that bandwagon. My mama raised me. I see power in women, but I find that shit so relatable. I just like it. So I feel like that's like it's almost like a warm blanket is what that movie is to me. All right, your turn to steamroll me.
For the most part, everybody knows my favorite movie. It's Wayne's World, specifically the first Wayne's World.
Oh, that's true. Then why'd you start with this question?
Well, I think a lot of people probably expect, because I would consider myself, just like you, a cinephile. We watch a lot of movies. We get into a lot of different film, especially analyzing a bunch of stuff. And for somebody who loves film as a whole, for Wayne's World to be your favorite movie, which is not very nuanced, which is not very technical, which is not very this or that, I always feel like I get kind of the really why Wayne's World, and it's like I genuinely don't have an answer why Wayne's World. I
Shoot, I feel like I can answer that. That's a great. I mean, it's not like my favorite movie of all time, but that's a great movie.
It's a fantastic movie. If you just want comedy,
yeah,
it's got it.
Well, it's just,
if you want something to space out on, it's there.
I understand that it was part of like a little trend of like, you know, SNL skit, which still happens to this day. Right. SNL skits that get turned into, you know, like a full blown franchise or something, if you will. But I mean, I feel like that one was one that was receptive very well. Hey, what's up? Nick Craze is watching. That's right, baby. Be on the wayside. I ain't forgot. I just fall off the face of the earth and don't reach out to anybody because I'm an introvert piece of shit. Hey, I'm not lying about it, at least.
That's what he does. That's what he does.
Yeah, I'm weird. I'm difficult. He knows. But yeah, man, that's a that I can see why that would be somebody's favorite one, because even though it doesn't have like the whole cinematic flow and stuff that you might be looking for as somebody that's, you know, beautifully, you know, trying to make like an absolutely amazing piece of, you know, cinematography or something like that, it just kind of makes you feel good, man. I would throw it right up there with it. It's like a warm blanket.
It serves, okay, so like my thing, and I think that's my thing, is that it serves its purpose in the sense of, I think growing up, whenever I was probably like, I don't know, probably first time I saw Wayne's World was like 5th or 6th grade or something. And for a lot of people, that's like transitory of you're kind of getting older and you're trying to find your thing. And for me, music was really prevalent at the time. I was already playing music with just by myself. I was really diving straight into that. And Wayne's World was a film about dudes who love music and makes friendships around music being their central core. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I identified with that of these guys' best friends are all about music. And for me, I didn't have a bunch of like friends that I went out and made. I obviously had friends. I don't want people to think like, oh, Josh is so fucking weird. He didn't have any friends. He up all the time.
Yeah, took my buddy.
I didn't go out and make friends. I didn't really like. I played sports, but I didn't really like them. Music was like my thing, and so I got into playing music really young. And I genuinely feel like Wayne's World was, for one, Mike Myers just gets my humor, or I get Mike Myers' humor. Like everything he does, even bad films like Love Guru, it's still funny. It's just not a great film.
Yeah, I would throw that up there as a underrated but not great. That's what I would say about that movie.
That's a good way of describing Love Guru.
Yeah, give it a chance, but it's not amazing.
I feel like it gets shit on for no reason, really. Like, it's not a great film, don't get me wrong, but I feel like that gets shit on so hard.
I think it's just, like, people, and I'm saying I think, I don't know, this is just my opinion, so don't crucify me, people. I think society just gets, tired of seeing the same face, and, they just, you know, like Hollywood's just like, all right, next, we got to see somebody else. So like for example, like, you know, Kevin Hart's on his run of like movies now. You know, a few more years, nobody's going to want to see Kevin Hart in a movie again because they've already got 10. They're going to be like, I don't need to see another Get Hard or whatever. They already did it. Like, what's the point?
Right.
So I kind of feel like that's what happens with a lot of these comedic actors, especially if they start off as a comedian and then move into the comedic acting. You kind of get stuck with a shtick, and people kind of expect something from you. So when you try to reinvent the wheel, there's only so much you can do with it, because it's kind of like Jim Carrey, man. Like, he couldn't do anything really besides comedy because everybody's expecting him to be like, you know, like, you know, 24/7 kind of guy, and then he's over here trying, well, I want to do something different. I've already done that. You know, I made a career out of that. I want to do something else. And then that's like a backwards example of it in a sense, because like he pulled himself out of it and then started doing other shit, and then everybody's like, why'd you do that? It sucked. But if he'd have kept going for like 2 more years, he would have been hit with the, oh, we're sick of seeing you.
That's true.
Because
I
if
will
you
say
good,
in his in the defense of that kind of camp that wouldn't really dig him not doing comedy, for probably mine and yours generation, that's about like Cable Guy, Ace Ventura, The Mask,
yeah,
stuff like that. That was like our childhood of Jim Carrey. Now, when something like
especially Ace Ventura. Because if it wasn't for Ace Ventura, I
oh
wouldn't know
yeah,
who Cannibal Corpse is.
exactly. So like what was it called? The Truman Show.
Yeah, that
To
was
me,
kind of a
it
weird
had
one.
some funny stuff, but it was more of a serious thing.
Yeah, it was.
I liked it.
Oh yeah, it was good. It had a different feel to it, but the
Right.
fact that it was a serious role for him and people just weren't receptive to it, like.
Oh yeah, not at all.
And it's
That's my
it's one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't. You know, like
Yeah.
like I said, if he'd have kept doing comedy, he'd have been told they're sick of it. You pull the plug early, they want more of it. You can't win, man.
right.
You just got to do what you do, and then unfortunately, people like Mike Myers get hit with that, and then people just don't. But then he's smart though. He's super smart because he was not only was he like okay, they're sick of seeing me, so what's he do? Voice acting.
Yeah.
Voice acting.
Well, just look at what he did with Austin Powers. I mean, the first one was extremely
Yeah,
successful in
baby.
'97. Then you get The Spy Who Shagged Me, which he added Fat Bastard, and then take that to Goldmember, which he is Austin, Dr. Evil, Fat Bastard, and the villain Goldmember.
That's true. He was totally an Eddie Murphy.
He's so great, man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, Mike Myers is always going to be probably like comedy actor, like comedian actor. Mike Myers is always going to be my favorite, I feel like.
100%. I feel you on that one because I feel like there's more movies he's been a part of that I hold dear as opposed to like other comedic people.
Yeah.
Him or Jim Carrey, I'd say because Jim Carrey is just a part of so many that I really like too. But I guess I'm one of those asshole fans that don't want to see him do anything but comedy.
No, I do love a few, like actually genuinely love, like Dumb and Dumber, The Mask.
The Mask was a great movie.
So like for comedy wise, yeah, there's a few, but then I look at like Mike Myers. If I compare it to that for just pound for pound, I'm looking at both Wayne's Worlds, the first two Austin Powers. Like even Goldmember was good. It just was not that good. You know what I mean?
I still liked it. It had its moments. What was it? I like was that the one where like he unplugs the fountain by accident and he has to keep it going,
Yeah.
so like he's drinking that bottle of water and he's peeing and stuff like that, and then he takes a bite of asparagus and and he's like, oh, like yeah, like I thought that was pretty good. Like I thought that was funny.
Yeah. Okay. So what ruined Goldmember? So look at, and this isn't objective by look. What I'm saying, this is objective by acting. International Man of Mystery, who was the heroine? Elizabeth Hurley, great actress. In Spy Who Shagged Me, who was the heroine? Heather Graham, another great actress.
Yes,
in
phenomenal.
Goldmember, who was the heroine? Beyonce Knowles, not a good actress. Like they seriously plugged her into that role because of how popular Beyonce herself is, and she's not a good actress. So it comes off as coming like we're just trying to get the cheap pop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you on that one.
Film.
I could feel you. I could feel you calling that a cheap pop move for that one. I could. Yeah, that's a total. That's a total. Let's get Mr. T at WrestleMania moment because he's a superstar.
Exactly.
Like that's
same.
I feel
premise.
you. I feel you on that one.
There's super funny moments in Goldmember that are great. That I really love. There's really funny Goldmember moments, but for the most part,
I love the shadow puppet part where Mini Me throws him that apple and it looks like his dick picked up an apple and threw. I don't know why, man, but just stupid like campy things like that. Like I love stuff like that.
Goldmember had great stuff, but like I said, it doesn't compare to International Man of Mystery, and Spy Who Shagged Me. You know, so like I'll always hold those higher.
Yeah, I'll
Gold
probably
Digger I
say the
still
first
like,
one's my
I just
favorite.
don't love it.
I'd say the first one's probably always been my favorite.
International?
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's classic, man. But with that being said, though, I do feel like I quote the other two movies more. Strange, right? Like I can't think of Fat Bastard anymore without thinking of like, it's a bit nutty. Like,
I do love International Man of Mystery a lot. I think Spy Who Shagged Me is always going to take it because simply Heather Graham. Like I had such a huge crush on Heather Graham when I was a kid, and that film, like she's just great, and she's front and center and everything. Like they gave her such a great role. Because like Elizabeth Hurley,
dude, she was great, man. And then like the fact that like she knew who Austin was, and like he inspired her, and like it has that whole backstory behind it. So like on top of this goofy ass movie, you have this really sincere backstory of why this chick looks up to him. You know, like
right.
It's really cool. Like I forgot about that. I really feel you on that one now. Maybe I am wrong. Maybe the second one is my favorite movie because that was just more of a heartfelt movie.
Yeah, Vanessa was great as like Austin's girlfriend, and then they retconned it, you know, in The Spy Who Shagged Me. But then Heather Graham's Felicity was so much better because there was so much background information.
Mm-hmm.
She's a great actress. She was actually really funny because up to that time, Spy Who Shagged Me was 99, I think, and up to that point, the only stuff she'd really done that she got popular with was like Boogie Nights in '97.
Oh, that's a great
movie. Which is obviously not. Yeah.
Oh, that's a bad movie.
I
love it.
To be a comedy film.
No, definitely not. I mean? Definitely not.
So like they put her into a Mike Myers film that was super popular at the time in that franchise, and really went out on a limb, being like, you know what, she's probably going to be a good comedic actress. So it worked. Like she was great.
Yeah, she was.
But
I definitely think she was the better fit of all three.
For sure.
I would say she has my pick. Charles commented here. He agrees she's the favorite of the trio, and then he said he feels you on the Beyonce deal. They sacrificed the quality of an actress for the quality. They sacrificed the quality of an actress to make a few extra bucks on like a pop. So he agrees with you.
No, it's true.
And your mama said nice hat.
She hates this hat. She's being a smart aleck. She can't stand this hat, and she can't stand when Dad wears this hat because me and him both have one.
That's why she's my favorite.
Jerk. So we've hit our favorite. What is of the films you've seen? I obviously don't be objective and say films you haven't seen you just heard are categorically bad, like Cats. Like I've not seen it and I know it's categorically bad, but I'm not putting that on the tape because I haven't seen it. What would you say is the worst film that you've ever seen?
Oh, the worst film. Like so. Okay. So just to let me get this straight, it has to be something that I've actually seen, not like what the internet says the worst film ever is. Like it has to be like what's the worst movie I've ever seen.
It has to be something that you have seen, not with the internet, like you said.
Right.
But you've also had to finish it.
I had to finish it.
The whole film.
That's tough.
Yeah, you have to finish the movie.
I usually do finish terrible movies because, like, I have this affinity for bad movies. Where, like, I feel like if you get through it, there's a golden part somewhere in it that makes it all worthwhile. It's not always true.
Right.
Definitely not always true.
No.
Oh man. What is that movie? Do you know yours? Because I'm gonna have to research mine a little bit. I can't remember the name of it.
I know mine off the top of my head.
All right, do it. Go ahead.
Worst movie I've ever seen. Me and a few friends freshman year of high school went and saw in theaters. It was called The Return. And the main actress was Sarah Michelle Gellar. I think it came out in 2006. I'm pretty sure. That I couldn't even tell you the premise of the movie after how long it's been. I mean, if I Google, actually, you know what? Let's Google it and see if I remember even what the premise was. Because if I read this, I'm I might not make my case for how bad it was because I don't even remember it.
Oh yeah, he's like, I might be thinking of the wrong movie.
No, I'm definitely thinking of the right movie, but I might not have all of the details. And plus, you're looking at it like what you objectively think is shit as a freshman in high school versus what you objectively think is shit in your later 20s could be two completely different things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the premise, I'm just going to give you like the cliff notes of the synopsis of The Return. Joanna Mills has a successful career but feels her personal life is spinning out of control. She has few friends and an estranged father. She begins having terrifying visions of a woman's murder, and it seems that she is the killer's next target. Determined to solve the mystery and escape her fate, Joanna follows her visions to the victim's hometown and finds some secrets just do not stay buried. So that is the premise that I remember, and it still sounds shitty. So no, I'm sticking with that was the worst movie I've ever seen.
I like your impersonation there of like just some secrets just stay buried. That makes me want to do that.
Well, I
for
had to
this
give
one.
you dramatic effect.
I know you make me want to be super dramatic now.
It's definitely that. Do you have one?
Yeah, I do. I figured out what it was.
Okay,
I thought I knew what the name was. I knew half the name.
Oh, okay.
So it's one of those things where this thing, my little affinity bit me in the ass. Okay. So I like to watch terrible movies. Okay. Decided to, and I really like one of my favorite genres. You know, is like the 80s, 90s kind of horror style. You know, like I like that kind of crappy quality.
Slashers.
Yeah, I'm really into that stuff. So there's this movie called Surf Nazis Must Die. When the son of a gun-wielding woman is murdered by neo-Nazi surf punks in a post-apocalyptic future, his mama hunts them down for some bloodthirsty revenge. Okay, so, I mean, that doesn't give you a lot, which is why I was just like, okay, let's watch it. What's it about? You know, I don't know. If you're wondering why I keep looking this way, my screen for Josh's face is that way, sorry.
And nothing about Nazis.
Yeah, so, like, then you watch the movie, and there are surf Nazis, okay? They really are Nazis. Not like they're depicted on the flyer. Because on the flyer here, they're, like, on this really wicked... Actually, you know what? Can I just screen share? Not important. But they're on the flyer. Just look up Surf Nazis Must Die. You'll see it. It's on a surfboard, and the fin for the surfboard is the chainsaw, and they're about to run over, like, a lady floating on another surfboard in the water. So, like, you instantly think, like, oh, this is probably going to be like a gore fest. Like, it's going to be like a campy comedy gore fest, because they advertise the comedy and stuff in it, too. Nah, man, like, it wasn't funny. It wasn't campy. It really wasn't gory. Like, it was just, like, a bunch of really bad dialogue and a bunch of weird dudes dressed in leather on the beach, like, with Nazi symbols on their surfboards and little Hitler stashes and crap like that. And even with all the Nazi, like, memorabilia and stuff they had, or not memorabilia, that's the wrong thing to say. We don't remember that shit. You know what I'm talking about, like what do you call it? Nazi gear. Yeah, sure. Their gear and stuff like that. They didn't even really look that Nazi. Like, the only thing that was just like, are they Nazis? And then you see the swastika armband, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, they are. Like, that was the only thing that really made them look like that. Like everything else was just black. If it wasn't for the swastika, you'd never knew. Like, there's no, like, there's nothing indicating, like, why there's Nazis here right now. Like, it just didn't make any sense. It's not funny. There's one scene, I kid you not, dude, I'm gonna need to... Like, there's one scene, and it's like an important scene, too, where they kind of, like, explain everything that's going on. And it's, like, shot like this, okay? Like, I keep Warrior by my side because he's just my buddy. Okay? So, here's the shot, okay? Here's the camera.
Yeah.
And in a typical movie shot, when they're doing, like, a dialogue, you kind of get something like, you know, like this. And then it'll pan to, like, the next person, you know, like over here, right? They did an entire scene where it was filmed... from back here, like this.
Sweet.
Right? So this is the people talking in the scene. Like, they look like the guys on my shelf back there. Like, that looks like the people back here. But the lights are out and you can't see them. All you see is just their silhouettes. Like it's supposed to be like one of those like revealing scenes where like they kind of tell you what's going on and you know what to expect. You're just waiting for it to happen now. But like it just didn't make any sense. It was a really bad like just pan to like a different camera. It was awful. And normally I'm like in super defensive like B movies and stuff, but this one was just awful. So it is definitely one of the worst movies I've ever seen. I did finish it. I had to finish it. I couldn't let myself not finish it. You know, when you go like 3/4 of a movie, like finish it. You know.
So I looked up the flyer, and so I've got some questions.
I mean, it is a Troma movie, which I mean, I know Troma's not known for making like amazing stuff, but like even for Troma, I feel like that was bad. Like,
so why? First question. Why does the Nazi that's on the surfboard have a metal claw?
Like the main villain in it, like the main leader in it, he has a hand like that, I think, from what I remember correctly. I think it might look a little bit better in the flyer than actually it did in the movie, obviously.
Oh, God. Well, that's horrible then, because it looks like shit on the flyer.
And their use of blood and stuff in it, again, I know it's Troma. Like, I'm not trying to, like, crap on anything, especially if anybody that, like, loves these movies. But it was just like, you don't really have high standards when you watch these kind of movies. But even when you can't hit the lowest of low standards, it's just kind of like, man, like, you didn't check any of the boxes.
I don't. And then, like, the surfboard he's on has a chainsaw going through the surfboard, like, as the tail fin.
Right. Like that was...
I don't... Dax, I'm giving you that. That sounds horrible and objectively worse than what I feel like is the worst movie I've ever seen. Maybe let's do that for funsies. How about you and Tiff watch The Return with Sarah Michelle Gellar, and then I will watch Surf Nazis Must Die, and then on the next episode, we'll talk about if we still think each other's film was the worst film we've ever seen. Because maybe you'll change my mind with your shitty film, or I might change your mind with my shitty film.
Maybe, but I mean, it's pretty bad, dude. I'd almost be like, I'd almost be willing to do a watch along with it and like have people queue it up with us, and we all just watch it together, and just be like, all right, let's all watch the worst movie I've ever seen. Like,
I'm gonna laugh though if you end up watching The Return and Tiff is like, this is a great movie, I really liked it. I'm gonna be like, Tiff, no.
Well, I mean, that's where I
respected your opinion so much.
That's where Milady's awesome. She's not so much like your typical. Charles said that Hobo with a Shotgun was a terrible movie, overrated, worst movie he's ever seen.
Hobo with a Shotgun. I feel like I've heard the title before, but I don't think I've ever seen it.
I liked it. It was a bad B movie, but it didn't let you down. It was exactly what the title, said it was going to be. It's a hobo that gets a hold of a shotgun and starts killing. Like, I think he kills bad people though. Like, from what I remember,
it's like a new-ish movie, right?
Somewhat. It's older now, but yeah, it's newish.
Last 10 years, I would say, right?
Probably. Let's IMDb that. Because it's
I feel like I've heard that title and I've just not seen it.
I actually watched it with Nick, who was commenting earlier. We watched it at my house forever ago after practice one day, and
cool.
I didn't mind it. I thought it was all right. I got to disagree with Charles on saying it's a terrible movie. I've seen way worse, but it wasn't amazing either. So, delivering justice one shell at a time. I always wondered, why is that the voice for like movies? Like, why is it always like, in a world where nobody cares? Like stuff like that. I mean, I get it, but like, wouldn't it be just as enticing if it was like somebody else's voice, like a known voice? Like, in a world where asses get whipped. Like, and all of a sudden, like, Stone Cold's cutting like a promo.
I don't want Stone Cold to read my movie descriptions and giving me my synopsis.
That'd be great, though.
Well, and I'm thinking about so if our choice was, and I know this isn't what you're saying, But if our choice was whoever the guy is that gives you the overly dramatic ones that we already get, versus if the choice was like the voice of me and you going, in a world where nobody gives a fuck about the narrator. Like, that doesn't get you pumped to see the movie at all.
Here you go. In a world where nobody gives a fuck about the narrator. You gotta have emphasis on fuck.
I don't give a fuck about the narrator, and it's you.
Well, what if it was in a better voice? Like, I don't know, like Dusty Rhodes. In a world where nobody gives a fuck about the narrator, baby. I'm just saying that if you is or if you ain't down with this, whatever. Piss off. Okay. I'm just telling you. You give me 20 of them boys and 2 hours on Monday night TNT. I take all Vincent Mann's money.
Okay, I'll take Dusty, but I would take Dusty reading my obituary. Like,
no shit, right?
I would let Dusty do anything.
I'd let Dusty read the menu at every restaurant I ever went to. They said at number 9, 2 cheeseburgers, ketchup, fries, large, Coke, please. Like, hell yeah, dude. I'd be like, just talk. Just say anything.
So if we go from, we've hit the best, or we've hit our favorites, we've hit what is our worst. Next thing,
mediocre
what are movies. No, not mediocre. But what are movies that are like critically acclaimed, super popular, everybody loves them, and you've tried watching and you just can't get into?
Oh, dude, like I'm probably, man, I'm gonna. Okay, I got a lot to fess up on this one.
I keep feeding these to you first, and I'm hoping that you don't keep feeding them back to me immediately, because I'm like, fuck, I need a minute to think.
No, I can answer this one I can actually have a lot of answers for this one. Okay. So, I've actually, like, I'm not going to talk about my work too much or anything, but I have kind of, like, I'm the guy in the office that doesn't watch anything. I don't keep up with anything. I don't watch the new shows. I never have. I never will. I just don't follow hype. I'm not trying to be the cool kid. I'm seriously not. I wish I could get into this. I wish I could be excited to watch something that comes on every week, but I'm just not.
Right.
It just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just not that guy. Even things I really do love, I'll record it and catch it later because it's easier.
Right.
So it's, you know, and even that, well, oh, it's on Netflix, you can binge it. Still. I've only seen the first season of Stranger Things, yet to see seasons 2 or 3. Loved it, just don't care. Just don't feel the need to finish it. I just don't feel the need to finish it. Still haven't finished The Office. Just don't care. I don't feel the need to finish it. Like,
missing a lot.
And a lot of people tell me that too. Like, I never finished Game of Thrones. I literally stopped at season 5, and everybody I've talked to is like, just leave it. Like, let that be your memory of it. And I'm like, okay, that's fine.
I can't get into it either.
I don't, like, there's a lot of stuff out there. I've yet to finish the Clone Wars, the saga from Star Wars, still. I've only seen, like, the first season and a half. Everybody tells me that. Oh, you need to watch it, bro. You need to watch it. It's the best. It shits on the prequels. It makes it so cool. And I believe you, and I've watched a lot of it, and it's cool, like, the season and a half that I've seen of it. And I love Obi-Wan. He's my favorite Jedi. I think we've talked about this.
Right.
But
we have.
I just can't. Like, the only thing in the past year that I've actually jumped on, or past year, whatever, that I've jumped on and finished, that's been like those hit shows, is The Mandalorian and Mindhunter.
Ooh.
That's it.
I've done the first season of Mindhunter.
I've wanted to watch The Tudors since it came out. That's about, was it King Edward? King Edward III? I can't remember. Anyway, that's why I want to watch it, because I don't know. Tiffany started watching it. I'll watch like an episode here or there with her, because it's really good. Mm-hmm. I have still yet to sit down and try to watch like a season of it. She bangs them out all the time, dude. Like, she can binge watch stuff and be like, I watch that show, I watch that. My brother's the same way, man. He can just binge it. I get bored. I don't keep up with it. It's too much. I don't know. I think I'm just making excuses at this point. I am really bad about keeping up with anything. Like, especially the Kardashians. Right. I don't keep up with shit with them. So, I mean,
It's all slutty. It's hard to keep up with.
With the, all
one of
that,
them's a woman now.
it's, one of them's, I think, all plastic or 90% plastic now. I'm not sure. I made a joke about Linda. Did you see where Linda Hogan got banned from AEW shows?
I did. I told you about it the other day.
Right. Well, somebody was
yesterday.
I got to reply to one of those comments, and they were like, "Why'd she get banned?" And I was like, "Because her." I said because of her face and big fake lips, they scare children and young adults. Like she's one of the ugliest things I've ever seen. She's terrifying. Afro Americans, like please. That's what she said.
Oh, I know. She's an idiot.
And everybody's like mad at Hogan. And she's like, look, they both were.
Yeah, they're both disgusting.
They're both disgusting. But okay. So, but if we had to bring it back into something that everybody else got into and loved, but like I can't. Like it's just something I just don't care about. I would have to say two things, and one might shock people. Number one,
I'm waiting on bated breath.
Number one, Game of Thrones. It was all right. It was cool. Like the first couple seasons, I absolutely loved. I thought Ramsay Bolton was great, but then just after a certain point, I don't know, man. It stopped being entertaining, and it was just like you watch every episode, and it's just nothing but just turmoil and just terrible, and it's just like we live that. Like, why do I want to watch this crap? And then number two is Walking Dead.
Get into it.
Like I just don't give a shit.
I love the first season.
Yeah, it's all right. Rather read the comic.
I'm a really big fan of the first season.
Rather read the comic.
That's been garbage.
Like old dude better as Punisher than I did in Walking Dead.
Bernthal.
Yeah, I just wasn't a fan of it. Love zombies, love zombie movies, but I think I've said this a few times too. But it bothers me because like, you know, when I was younger in high school and stuff, and I'm not trying to like feel sorry for me or anything like that, but you know, I was into that shit and it was kind of weird. I can't tell you how many people call me weird because I like that kind of stuff. That's weird shit. I don't know why you're into that stuff. And it's just now, like, you know, fast forward 10 years from that point, everybody's like, it's Sunday night, can't wait to watch Walking Dead, I love zombies, always have. It's just like, whatever, you fake-ass fan. It's like, you've never seen Night of the Living Dead, the original or the 90s remake. Or definitely Dawn of the Dead, the original or the remake of that.
Nope.
So, I'm not trying to, like, you know, thank you, Charles. Thank you. He couldn't get into Walking Dead either. Because it sucked, Charles. That's why. It was a lame zombie movie. You know why? Or zombie show. You know why we watch zombie shows? It's not to have the turmoil between the people. I could give a shit less about that. You're thinking my wife. I thought you were dead. I can't help it, man. Watch out. We're going to get eaten alive. It's like, isn't that the bigger problem?
Yeah. I liked the first season. And I fell off after that, so I can't defend the rest of it. Game of Thrones, I've tried, can't get into it at all.
I do love that Carl meme, though. Like that Coral? What's wrong, Coral? I love those memes.
Film. So, there's both of these, a television show and a film, franchise in general, that I can't get into, and people get pissed at me all the time because I hate them. And I've tried a bunch for the both of them. The TV show is Friends. I hate Friends. It's not funny. I cannot get into that show whatsoever. I've hated that since I was a kid, and I still hate it as an adult.
I'm meh on it. If it's on TV, I won't make you turn it off, but I won't go out of my way to watch it.
Friends is trash. Like, I hate Friends. If anything, Friends fans are worse than the show. So, like, I can't stand them. It's kind of like Juggalos. They're worse than the band.
Yeah, like ICPs, like they're actually decent dudes that look out for people and their fans and take care of each other. And then the fans are just like crazy, like drug. Not all of them. You can't say all of them are like that, but they do have a lot of wild druggy fans. Like when you watch like the whole Juggalos behind the scenes stuff, and you see everybody like they're like doing whippets and stuff all day. It's like I'm good.
The only Juggalo that matters is Superhuman because he does it for all the Juggalos and Juggalettes.
Whoop-whoop. I don't have
that's
anything
the
against
show.
Tiff's a juggalo.
Film would be Harry Potter.
Oh yeah, I actually like those movies. Those movies are good.
I can't get into the Harry Potter. I've tried reading the books. My Nana got me the first 2 books when they came out. I read them.
You know how I feel
don't
about
really
books.
get into wizards. Huh?
You know how I feel about books.
Oh yeah, you don't like reading.
It hurts.
Yeah, you don't like reading.
It hurts my brain.
But then like I tried watching the movies when they came out, hoping that would be better. I still just hate wizards and like that kind of fantasy realm, man. Like,
but you're a wizard, Harry.
Yeah, like I don't fucking care. Like that's just I can't get into it. I've tried, man, and I want to like it because I like a lot of the things that surround it in regards to like I think it's cool that all these people are getting into like, hey, what house are you? And you got to take this quiz to find out what it is, and it's like that's cool. And the fact that the bad one is green and it's a snake, I think that's cool. But like past that, I can't get into. I don't know. I just think it's lame. I can't get into it.
No, I feel you. Like
I don't shit on people who like Harry Potter, but I do actively go out of my way to shit on Friends fans. So like clearly I hate Friends more than I hate Harry Potter.
It would seem that way.
Yeah, pretty hard. Like I hate it, man.
I don't hate Harry Potter. I'm not the best fan or the biggest fan. But like my wife loves it. Like Tiff's all about it, dude. Yeah, she loves Harry Potter. She's actually been trying to get me to like watch them all, and I've watched everything but like the last 2, and those are like the only 2 I haven't seen. I haven't seen with her, and she's also been trying to get me to watch the rest of the Twilight movies. That's one I could throw up there as one that I didn't get into either. I did watch the first one, so before anybody comes at me with that crap. It's not that, was it a terrible movie? No, I can see why people like it. It's just not for me. I like my vampires to be crueler. A lot crueler.
I don't really like vampire films. Like even good ones, like Fright Night and like I guess I kind of like Interview with a Vampire, the Brad Pitt one.
Yeah.
And Tom Cruise, that was pretty good. Let's see, Blade is badass. The Wesley Snipes Blade, I do love that.
Yeah, those are. I do like that.
Hey, that's a Marvel thing that I like.
It's true. It is. That's crazy. For those that haven't listened to the first season, to listen to my comic book obsession for a little while, Juice is not a big Marvel fan. He's very, very, very seldom do you like anything from them.
Deadpool, you got me into Deadpool, the comics.
It's kind of hard not to like Deadpool.
Yeah, the film is great. And anything with Ryan Reynolds in it.
Well, and they do make the Star Wars comics that you like now too.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
Like that, you know.
But I've never read Blade, the comic. I only like Wesley Snipes' Blade, and I think I'm gonna like the new one because I can never remember that guy's name. Mahashara Ali. I don't know. Whatever his name is, he's a fantastic actor. He was in the Green Book, that Viggo Mortensen movie. Mm-hmm. He's a great actor, and I think he'll actually do a very good Blade. I prefer Wesley Snipes to keep doing Blade, but they didn't want him, so whatever.
Right.
I'm going to watch it, but I've got some preconceived notions about it.
Right. Well, broski, we're at the hour mark, man.
That's what I was just about to say.
Oh, yeah?
You are getting simpatico.
Yeah.
Down to a science, baby. Yeah. Down to a science.
Right. Well, that was a fun one. I enjoyed it. Like we said, look for some music. We're going to try to make it royalty free. Like we want people to use it. That's the goal at first. So when we start dropping this stuff on our YouTube page, share it, like it, tell people about it, tell people to use it. They can use it as long as they throw a feedback to us that they got it from us. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get out there. You got anything else, man?
I think the only thing that I could possibly say that would cap off talk about movies is my favorite catchphrase that has ever existed, which is "keep it floppy."
Keeping it floppy. Oh, you.
Oh, me.